Good morning. Good morning. Um, I am here with our first presentation of the day. Oh gosh, I hope you are excited to see what we have to share with you. So we've got five presentations today. I'm Katie Johnson. I'm here with the first one. I always feel like it's nice to have a face for who's talking at you because the way I go on live, I only have access to one camera and you want to see the project. So it's the camera that points down, but there's my face that you would see if I was able. So if you are here in the moment, please take a minute to go ahead and say hi. Actually, if you're watching on the replay, you can go ahead and say hi there as well. I'm just flipping my screens here so I can hopefully kind of track if anyone is engaging with me in the moment. And if you are watching live at a later point in time, then just go ahead and leave some comments and I'll come back and say hi in the comments to you as well. All right, we have an exciting weekend planned for you with new product from the new catalog. As you are probably aware, Stampin' Up! Has a lot of product that actually isn't in the catalogs, and so some people may actually be showing something because we have product release come in May as well. This is my stamp set. Or my bundle. I'm gonna be showing you some projects made with the Garden Gatherings bundle. Um, I like the way they're doing things in the catalog right now. They're like showing you if you bought, because they're sold separately. So they're showing you if you bought the stamp set and the dies, how much it would cost, and cross that out and show you get savings when you bundle them and buy them together. So we don't need to see the catalog because we don't have a very good view with the big view here of what's going on. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to point out off onto I don't want this to be a distraction, but I need this here for myself. Guys, there is so much new product and I'm showing you so much of it that I just want to track. I've got 7 different things that I want to show you. So this is the bundle that I'm showing you. It comes with a stamp set and a die set. This is the new packaging. The new packaging is envelopes now instead of the CD case kind of storage, which means that it's going to take less space in in wherever you are keeping your product. They do come in separate envelopes, but I like to combine them. I like to have both my die set and my matching stamp set in the same envelope. Then it's just easier for managing and moving things around. I will show you this as well. I mount them on a card because I find, you can let me know in the comments if this happens to you as well, but I find that as I'm using things and then I like set it someplace, then I lose it. I don't know if that's ever happened to you where you actually lose something, but I put a magnet sheet on top of a rigid piece of cardstock, and then I actually cover it with some plastic here so it doesn't get scuffed off by moving things. But this is an easy way to transport, and then I'm training myself. I'm going to use it, and then I put it back. Use it and put it back, and then I don't lose things. The two that are missing from here are because I'm using them on today's project. All right, so I just want to show you a couple of things about this before we launch into today's project. The stamps works really nice. It's not like you even have to use the dies with them. So check out this one right here, okay? This is a 2-step stamp set. So there's one stamp that will do the stems and then another stamp that will do the flowers, which gives you so many options for putting colors together, right? Because I could stamp the stems in green over here, and then I could stamp the flowers in any combination that I want. Same thing with this one over here. So I can stamp the base, which by the way would look awesome all by itself. I don't know how well that shows up for you. That could look really cool all by itself because there's little dainty things up there. And I'm looking at the versatility of this particular one and thinking wheat stalks in the fall for a fall project. But you do have this stamp right here where you can come back and add some extra dots to kind of fill it out and make colors on there. So you could do green and then add some colors up there if you wanted. By the way, just an FYI, the awesomeness, the nub end of our markers, our blends, is just perfect for filling in a dot or two if you happen to miss them from using this stamp. Just saying, not saying that it's been done before, but it's possible it's been done before. And then right here, check this out. I did some splattering up on top. So anyway, these are just 2 projects, not the ones that we're going to do today, because what I'm going to do today, I am going to focus on the dies. Now let me show you the dies that come with it. So there are framelits as well as additional dies that come with the kit. Framelits, you have two framelits right here that will cut two different vase shapes. So I could stamp them and die cut them. But you can see right here that the dies look just awesome by themselves. It's not like you have to stamp them. There's three more framelits over here that will cut out these two stems and this stamped image. Now this stamped image is just a single thing by itself. These two are intended to have flowers with them. So you can see up here that the framelit, cuts a big enough space that you could stamp the flowers and then die cut that as well. You also have one additional one that isn't it doesn't go with any of the stamps. It's just an extra fun little leafy thing that you can add to a project. I'm actually going to do that today. I've got all my parts die cut down here. So you can see I have some leaves and I have some flowers. And I did not do any fussy cutting for these flowers because you also get these three additional flower dies. This is the one I'm using on today's project. And then you get these two wonky things over here and going, what is that? Could that just be like a little dish? Could this be a pocket if you were doing some punch art? The answer is yes for both of those, but it's intended to be water that you could add to the vases. I'm going to keep this out because I need that for my project. I need to stay organized here. Let me put these away. I don't think I need these, but they'll be handy to reach for if I do. And let me pull in the next parts that we're going to use for today's project. The thing I like about this, because we have lots and lots of different floral sets, this is a fun floral set. I'm glad that I have this in as an addition to my collection. But the thing I really like the versatility of the vases. The cool thing about the vase when you cut it out is you can cut it out on just plain old white paper and then stamp on it if you want. If you don't want to do the work of stamping on it, you could die cut it out of designer paper. I've got a whole bunch of things here. Not organized at all, just kind of a bunch of things to show. So look how fun it is if you decided to cut it out of designer paper. And if you're noticing a little bit of shine on there, the answer is yes, you are. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Here's what it looks like if you were to stamp the vase and then die cut the vase. So it works really nicely. It's framed well. Let's see what else have I got in here. A bunch of stuff because like I say, adding color. So let's see. I have one more piece I was going to show. Yeah, not sure where it is down here. There it is. So look what happens if you use vellum, because a lot of our vases, I don't know about yours, but some of my vases are opaque, but most of my vases are glass that you can see through. So I was trying to recreate what that would look like. And to add water, this one, I just took my marker and added some water in. This one, I took the stamp because there is a water stamp, so I stamped the water down here. This one, I die cut in vellum and I popped on that die cut. Now to me, that looked a little odd because it lost the reflective properties of the, like, look, you're looking through a vase and then you see the water and it stood out too much. So then I thought, well, what if I turn it over and just mount it that way? And now it has that whole opaque look, like I'm looking through a vase and see the water on the inside. So guys, some stamp sets you buy because you see a project and you say, oh, I want to make that project. And some stamp sets you buy because you go, wow, that just looks like a lot of fun to play with. And that basically is what happened with this stamp set. I bought it because it looked like it was a lot of fun to play with. All right, when we do our projects for you, let's talk about the shine on here. When we do our projects for you, we try not to get too complicated, but I do like, I mean, this is a glass, right? I do like having the shine on there. Can you see that? So how do you go about getting that awesome shine on there? Packing tape. Not a Stampin' Up product, of course. You go to the dollar store and you get some packing tape. But what I did on here, order of operations, you pull this back out. When I use something, I take it off. When I'm done, I put it back. So all I did was take my scrap piece of paper, threw on some packing tape. So I'll do this here. See how you can see packing tape all over the whole thing? If you're watching live, let me know. I'll try to see comments. But if you're watching on the or whenever you're watching, if you think this is like, oh my goodness, that is amazing and a super easy way to get an awesome shine on things, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. We always like to know that people are inspired and feel like they found useful information from what we have to share here. But this is so easy. So now I've got my piece of paper covered with a packing tape. It was too big, right? This is, right? It's wider, or my piece of paper is smaller than the packing tape. Just wrapped it around. No big deal. Lay your die on top, run it through your machine, and now you've got an awesome piece to use on the project. All right, done with this. Putting it away so I don't lose it. That goes over. These things get out of the way, and we will move on to the next part of the project. Oh, no, before I put all my dies away, I got one more sample to show you too. So this one is just the flowers, no vase on here. I played around with using the flowers themselves as an accent piece. I want to show you right here, before I got finished talking about the dies. So I put a little rhinestone. You can just color them with a Sharpie or with their alcohol markers. So I just used black on here. But see how this one's missing? And I need to go back and put it in. But what I want to show you is that these dies have a hole in the middle. So no matter what project you use, you can see it on these dies as well. Sometimes that centerpiece stays with the project, but a lot of times it falls right out. So then you are going to want to come back and put something in the middle of that flower. Okay, let me move this off to the side so I don't lose it. Next thing to talk about is I've got all these parts. How am I going to lay them out on the paper? Oops, it doesn't want to stay where I'm putting it. There we go. So if you have seen my previous construction videos, you know that I like to keep a layout book. Oh, this is useful. Sorry, I'm going to back up here when we will come back to the layout book in a minute. This is just to keep myself on track of the things I want to say. Yes, we have a ton of new stuff in the catalog. We also have every month a new product of the month. And I'm only going to digress here for just a minute because in the welcome message you heard Christy mention that we have a show special. It's just a PDF of all of our projects with the measurements in it and a link to the YouTube videos. But the product of the month, if you put in an order over $75, you have the option to purchase this. This is this month's product of the month. Guys, this is gorgeous. This is vellum paper, printed vellum paper. Can you see my fingers moving underneath here? Maybe yes, maybe no. But oh, wow, I could just see cutting the vase out of some of these and using that on a project. So that was just a quick going like, ooh, product of the month. I should be thinking about that as well. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I'm not using it on today's project. So back to the layout book. I like to keep ideas for how I put the parts together so that next time I get a fun vase, next time I get a fun set of new in colors, next time I get a fun whatever, I can say, how did I use that last time? So I'm going to add a page to my layout book. My layout today is going to be really simple. This is just for my layout book. There is a normal card size. And by normal, I know that some people who are watching, hi, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see some comments in here. Thank you. And I'm glad to know I can see the comments as well. So we are an international group. And in talking about measurements, I try not to get too complicated with how to convert them because I'm in inches and then some people are in centimeters. So it's easy for me to say to you, that's a quarter sheet of paper. It's a normal card base. I have a piece that I'm going to put on, and I will give you measurements for this in a minute because this is a little bit critical to how I'm going to lay the papers out on here. But what I'm going to do is I want to put on an accent piece that my vase will sit on and then add the flowers and things up on top in the sentiment. It's not going to be quite as simple as that. But before I put all the parts together and show you, this is one configuration. For today's project, I'm going to angle it, which means that in terms of numbers, for you, it makes a difference its size. Let me get this distraction out of the way for a minute. That's my normal card base. This is an extra piece I'm going to put on top because I'm going to need to be able to come in with my my scissors and cut off the extra parts, which I am going to do right now while you're watching. And you will see me do that on the project as well. So those will come out of the way. This will also come out of the way for distractions. And then I'll glue that on there. So how long did that piece need to be? What did I use? In inches, this width, this dimension right here is 2 inches. I hope that shows up, but it will be in the PDF as well. So what is that in centimeters? Without needing to do the math for the conversions, I'm going to tell you what it is, because I'm going to just take my sheet here with the metric on the other side and measure it for you and tell you it looks like it is 5.5 centimeters. Is that absolutely critical? Kind of, but if you're in centimeters, you'll be able to figure out how to make that work in just when you see how I put things together. The length, all right, you need to have something that's long enough to go the width of this piece. So all I did, guys, all I did was take, here, I'm going over to my printer and I'm grabbing a sheet of copy paper. So we normally take our cards, whether you're inches or centimeters, we cut it in half and we say, okay, I'm going to start making a card. And then we fold it in half. And this is how we have our card base. So centimeters or inches, whatever you do, there is this bigger piece of pink, which is going to be white on my project. And then I have an extra layer because I need to do the trimming. It's the only reason for adding that extra layer, because I need to do the trimming. So what size is that piece? In inches or in centimeters, you know what you do to make the next size layer smaller. But the point is, for this accent piece, we need it wide enough. If you're just going to put it sideways, it only needs to be that quarter size in length. But if you're going to twist it, right? If you're going to twist it, it needs to be longer. So what did I do there? I took my 2-inch width and I just sliced it off of a quarter sheet of paper, and it was long enough. End of math discussion. So now I'm going to really quickly adhere this while I tell you what we're going to do with today's, because what is this long pink thing? What could it be? If you're thinking about, ooh, that is not a bad layout. I could use that layout with Katie's project today or with anything. The answer is yes. You could use that with plain colored cardstock, like my layout book, which is nothing fancy. You could use that with designer paper. You could emboss it. I'll show you what I'm going to use. But then you put something on that's your focal point. It could be a star, it could be a heart, it could be a flower. Today it's going to be a vase. And it's all going to be in the new in colors. Whoops, where am I? New in colors. See, I got to keep 7 things down here and I'm up to number 3. I will try to not drag things out too much because I'm aware there's so much to say today. Look at these awesome in colors. So hard to decide. So since I couldn't decide, I just decided to use them all. Now, here's the deal. Go back to my picture right here. Check out this one right here. This flower has 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers. We have 5 in colors. Perfect opportunity to put all 5 colors into my project. So I have flowers in 4 colors, because you can have blue flowers, right? And then extra little leaves that I'm going to put in green, and I'm going to stamp the leaves. And there's my vase. Everything all ready to go. If you have a favorite one of these things, let me know in the comments. Personally, I like the way they all play together. And for that extra strip that's going to go across, I decided what I'm going to do is to, again, as an accent for the background, rather than bringing in designer paper, I decided I'm going to use all 5 of the in colors. So I cut each of these the length of the paper and then just angle them on here. And I'm going to do this real quickly because I have a smudge. I can go ahead and use this if I need to, but I got a smudge I'm not happy with up there. So I'm going to try and do this real quickly so that I can also point out, since we're pointing out things you must have, you should have a silicone craft mat, because these, the size of these little strips, so that I could get something that didn't take up too much space on my front. I wanted them to kind of fit into that 2 inch section that I was going to confine it to. I cut them at 3/8 of an inch. In metric, I believe that is 1 centimeter in width. And then I laid them across on here. And then I can come back. This was my plan, was to say you take that extra card front, that one that's whatever your normal framing size is. Ooh, I need a little pile for garbage. Stick that off to the side. So you need a long scissors, and you need a scissors that you don't mind having a little bit of sticky on, although you can come back and clean. And I mentioned the come back and clean because I said I wasn't happy with this little extra. This is an adhesive smudge that I got on here. Adhesive can sometimes get in the way of things, which is why the silicone craft mat is nice, because I can come back here with my runner, my tape runner. Maybe you use liquid glue, that's fine. But you see how it kind of caught on the edge of that? That's how I got that ink smudge. Should have started with the blue, but I'm going to lay the green on here. The angle, pick whatever angle you want. That's not the critical part at all. Okay, but then I'm going like this and going, oh, I got a little bit of adhesive on there, and maybe it's going to be a problem and maybe it won't. I'm going to add my next one in here, but you can see the concept. So the concept is you just lay these things all on here in whatever order you want. Actually, maybe I'll show you. Maybe I don't need to finish that for you right now, because when you have adhesive on here, I use the silicone craft mat so that when I laid my strip on, it wouldn't get on my work surface. The silicone craft mat is perfect for dealing with that. If you have extra adhesive smudges that you don't want, we have 2 ways to get rid of adhesive, and these are not Stampin' Up products. Actually, Stampin' Up did used to sell this. It's a gum eraser, adhesive eraser. But truthfully, if you own one of these, you can say, oh yeah, Katie, you're right. Leave that in the comments. This thing will last you your lifetime. You'll pass it on to your daughter. She'll pass it on to her daughter, and it'll still be good to go. This thing is not, it grabs onto extra adhesive and pulls it off, but it doesn't get used up. And I think Stampin' Up stopped carrying it, not because it was an awesome product, which it is, but just because people buy one and then they don't need it. And so it's taking up space on the shelf. And anyway, you can get those at the dollar store. This is another product that once I get this on here, if the adhesive eraser isn't pulling this off well enough, oh, look at that. It was dry from yesterday and it actually did work. If it didn't, I would just put this on a Q-tip and rub that liquid on. Don't gasp for breath. Just know that it will dry. It was a scrapbooker's tool. You'll never know it was there, and that's also a little bit of magic for getting rid of things. Okay, here's another option for putting those things on. You can mount them all on another strip and then just go ahead and glue that other strip on there, but that's good to go. So we're done talking about the basic layout. Now we want to see the assembly of the parts. I'm going to talk about stamp positioning because we have another new product, a new stamp positioner. So I have 2 things that I want to put on here. I want to put my sentiment on, and I want to stamp the base where the flowers, so I know where to put the flowers. I'm going to show you how I did that because we have a couple of ways to do that. But let's go first to the easy thing. I want to put my sentiment on. It's just a happy birthday from the stamp set. This one is easy. So I look through my block. I'm going to line up the angle and put it off to the side here underneath that blue. Voila, done. Easy to position because I can see through the block. Okay, the next one is I have die cut myself here some blanks that don't have any ink on them yet, but I want the ink to show up on my project, in part to show me the placement of the flowers, and in part because I want a little bit of the leaves to show through. I'm going to come back and put these on as well. I have 2 options. I can stamp it first and then try to line up the framelit around it. And you can leave some comments about, oh yeah, Katie, sometimes that's hard to line it up. Agreed, sometimes it's hard to line it up. The second option is to die cut it first and then to bring my stamp through, because you can see through the stamp, right? And sometimes the paper shifts. And you can leave a comment and go, oh, yeah, you're right, Katie. Sometimes the paper shifts. So how can I get things exactly positioned? Stampin' Up now has you covered. Oh, my goodness. Guys, this is a new stamp positioning tool. So I'm going to show you from start to finish how I use it for this project. But I said I have 7. Let me jump down real quick to number 5 on the list here. New ink pads. This is where you can like put little smiley faces in the comments or throw in little hearts or something. Check this out. Look how easy these are to open. These are magnetic ink pads. For right now, they are available in the 5 new in colors. And then come next year, there's going to be a color refresh, and all the new ink pads are going to come out with this magnetic thing. But wow, this is so cool. So I can layer them like that. It's not a real strong hold, but it kind of stays together. If I have them on my work surface and I put them together, they move as a unit. And if I go like that, whoop, it just kind of, don't have to do all that wrist action and sliding and stuff. Love these. Okay, so we're going to use green because I want the stems to be green. Now, I'm going to start from the beginning. There are a ton of techniques that can be done if you own a stamp positioner. But I'm using it today as a stamp positioner. So I want to show you how I use it to get this thing perfectly on the die cut. Put this someplace. For this technique, it's random. You can put this any place you want, maybe right there. There are a lot of videos out there that show you how to use this new stamp positioner, and they will remind you that if you're going like, wow, this isn't working, upside down, okay? So let me put this on here and grab my stamp where I chose to put it. The whole key is I need to know where the ink is going to go. So I'm going to stamp it down, and now I know where the ink is going to go. Let's put that up so I don't make a mess. Here's the hole. I want the ink to go where the die cut is going to be. The hole is going to show me where to put my die cut. And it comes with cute little magnets. We'll just use the magnets to hold the paper in place. And now all I have to do is to take my die cut. I know where the ink is going to go, so let's put the die cut where the ink is going to go. And then we come back, add more ink, pop that on here. Now, we did sell a different stamp positioner years ago. This one is different. The other one was hinged, which meant on the other one, once I had things all lined up, I was committed. This is the cool thing about this one. I'm not committed yet because I haven't pushed it down. I can still get my head over it and do that last minute check and make sure that it is perfectly positioned before I bring ink to the paper. Look at how awesome that is. All right, wow, lots of setup. Now it just comes to the adhesives and putting things together. So I am going to start by putting on my vase, and I want my vase to be raised up just a little bit. So what I'm using here is half of the dimensionals because I want to kind of spread them off to the side here and leave room inside for that stem to go. I'm also going to put this kind of down to the bottom because I have a lot of height that needs to go above the vase. So the vase is going to sit down here. Next in order of operations is this thing, which you can pick whatever glues you like to use. I'm just going to put a little bit of a liquid glue down here. I'm trying to confuse you by using all the glues because Stampin' Up sells so many different options. And now that it's messy with glue, I'm going to use tweezers to hold this and stick that vase right underneath. And here I have the option of deciding how far down and how far up is that going to go. I'm pulling it up a little bit for 2 reasons. One, I want my flowers up here with a white background so they're not competing with these colors. And 2, I want to be able to bring in a couple of these little extra leaves that I die cut and stick them in, snuggle them in the bottom. Next up, we have our flowers to put on, 1 in each of the new in colors. Can you name them? Do you know them by heart yet? Golden Glow, what is that? That must be Cantaloupe Crisp, Hydrangea Hue, Barely Blush, and then the leaves are Peaceful Pine. All right, to get these guys on, they're little. So instead of using the bigger dimensionals, I'm going to use the little ones. And because my fingernails are kind of longish, but not, I like using my take your pick. It's just easy to lift them off and flip them on the back. And I mentioned that center of the flower. I think it's probably showing up for you in the video, but 4 of them, it stayed in when it came out of the die cut, but on that hydrangea hue, it's lost its flower center someplace. Don't know where that is. So I will come back and add something else on top. Should have had these flipped upside down. We have a list on that PDF. If you put in a purchase, what did we say? We said by the 24th, I think. If you are inspired to make a purchase, you get a PDF that will show you all of our projects. And like I say, the videos in YouTube here, YouTube will delete them after 28 days. You get 4 weeks. So we all do download them and we upload them to our YouTube channels. And the PDF will have for you the YouTube link. So you'll be able, with that PDF, to go back and check any of the videos that you want and come back and watch them later. But what I want to say is on the last page of that PDF, we have a list of essential tools. So it will have a list for you, whether we used it this time around or not. It will show you essential tools like the Take Your Pick tool or the silicone craft mat and all the adhesives. It's actually pretty well organized on the back. Okay, so now we are pretty well done. I'm going to snug these guys in, and I'm just going to bring my tape runner in here. It doesn't even need this long of a tail, so I'm going to get this off and just add a little bit of glue to hold this on. Could have used liquid glue, could have used anything. Can you see? I'm trying to check whether this shows up in the video. Oh, it doesn't. I'm moving my hand over here. Oh, it does. I have a time delay when I watch you guys live. Okay, there's another adhesive. I'm going to bring that in just a minute. Let me get this guy over here. And then, ooh, do you see his tail sticking out? Too long, too long. Let's snip him off. And by the way, if you are watching, now I'm speaking not to people who are here today, but I'm speaking to anybody who found this on my YouTube channel after the fact. Yeah, anybody who orders from us, this is a private group only for people who have ordered product from us, so connect with me. All right, I need my card base. We're getting pretty close to the end. I do have 2 more things to mention to you. Oops, that was a sneak peek. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Oh, did you see me doing this? There's a reason I went, ooh, this doesn't feel right. And then I realized Stampin' Up sells 2 versions of the cardstock. We sell our regular cardstock, and then we sell extra thick cardstock. And this one, my fingers were like, oh, that doesn't feel the same as that. And it's because this is the thinner and this is the thick cardstock. I do like using the thick cardstock because I just feel like when I give this on a card, it's more substantial. So when I can, I try to use the thicker on the cardstock. I'm looking for one thing that I'm not finding. All right, we're good. I'm going to come back on. What I was looking for was we also sell adhesive sheets, foam sheets. And when I can, just for a little extra visual impact, I like to put those up on a foam sheet, but it will look just fine here. Your eye will catch the fact that the focal point is on another layer, and it just adds a little bit of, I think, professional to the project. Okay, got 2 more things to do. Since I have number 6 down there and I know what's coming next, I will deal with the stuff that's over here. Somebody else is going to come in and show you this new bundle, but I'm going to use it on my project. So we got new butterflies, guys. This is super fun. So I'm going to just take and show you real quickly what I did to create the butterfly. I'm going to stamp it, and then we're going to color it. And oh gosh, butterflies are sparkly, right? So I just want to show you some fun things about coloring this butterfly. Oh, I didn't catch the whole wing. Trying to do this too quickly. So it's a single stamp. Oh, I will show you this. It's a single stamp for mounting this thing because it's got to work with the punch as well. This is a little bit floppy. And so what I find is if I try to use my fingers and mount it on here, there's the risk that I have it curved too much or spread out a little bit because it's this floppy thing. So what I like to do is to put my stamp down let it get comfortable and relax, and then put it on my stamp. That way I'm ensured that the three things all are going to be lined up with the punch when I try to punch something. Completely not an issue for today because I'm only using that top one. So I'm going to line this up, punch my little butterfly here that I will add to the project. I made it without the butterfly and it looks fine. It looks clean and like a nice pretty card that makes an impact. And then I played around with adding the butterfly and I went, oh yeah, have to do that. You can color on colored cardstock. So I'm just going to do this super fast. And notice how I'm not being careful at all, and it's going to look just awesome because the lines kind of define the area and make that easy. Got to have sparkle. And this is an oopsie. I do always like to show you my mistakes when I make them. We're down to number 6 out of 7. I have 2 of them here, and I have now forgotten which one was which. Wait, maybe I can tell this way. So this is the one I don't want to use because I was kind of running out. It was getting dry. So I just added more alcohol, which you can do, but I kind of over primed it. I hope this won't be a problem. I'm going to use it anyway because it's got more. This one's also almost out. You can add a little bit of extra alcohol and stretch the length of this thing, but I pumped it too hard, so it squeezed too hard, and then it just like gushed out. So we're going to hope this works. But adding some sparkle to your project, again, I am a former physics teacher, and anything I can do that adds a little bit of extra reflection to the project, I'm all about doing that because it makes a big difference. Okay, number 7 down here. Another new product. Stampin' Up! Now carries gel pens, white gel pens. They come in a 2-pack. And again, you'll see I have marked one of them so I can tell them apart from each other because you learn from my mistakes. So I used this. I'm going to use the one without the mark. And it goes on really easy. Let's put this against a dark background so it will like really be a contrast. But look how easy this is. And again, the butterfly alone with the sparkle from the wink of Stella is beautiful. And I tried it that way. And then I added the white gel pen dots and I went, oh yeah, have to do that as well. So I made my sample ahead of time and it turned out awesome. And I put the lid on, but I I thought, I mean, I made contact, but listen, did you hear that snap? I didn't do that. I didn't realize I didn't do that, but I didn't do that. So I put it in, I went, oh, it's on. And I put it away and came back 2 days later and it was dry. So I marked for myself that this was the one that was dry, and then I'm hoping that it's just like a ballpoint pen that you leave the cap off of and you come and just do this and it rolls around enough to bring the liquid down and that it will be just fine. But that was just yesterday, so I didn't have time to play with that. So new gel pens, they are awesome. 2 things left to finish this project. I did say I was going to talk about glue dots. When I mount butterflies, you can just glue it on there flat, or take your thumb and give it a little bit of dimension and bring in your tool here to pull off one glue dot because that is the one of choice. I want to put it behind the body of my butterfly. This is bigger than my butterfly. Love glue dots because you can squish them. And I turned it into a long thing now that goes on the body of the butterfly. Check this out. That's a pretty card, right? It's very pretty. But when you add that butterfly, you're going like, oh, that just totally makes it almost. And now the only thing that's missing is you're saying, well, those flowers, you can see the dimensional showing through the hole. Yes, you can. So let's just add a little pearl on top there. These are not a new product. They've been around for a long time, but they are wonderful. Oops, so wonderful that I've used up all the little ones. Let's open up a new pack down here. So they come a couple of different sizes, and for this small flower, I'm going to want to use um, the little iridescent dots. So a reminder again that we love having you here. We love having you get inspired by what we do. And if you choose to make something based on what you see us do, we would love to see your projects. So please pop photos of yours in the comments of something that inspired you because, you know, you're going to be doing 2 things. You're going to be saying, look, Katie, we found value from what you did and we made it. And then my heart will smile and be happy, like, yay, I helped you. But somebody else is going to see your photo and they're going to go, oh, that's cool. I could do that too. So you will inspire each other if you try something and post your photos. And again, you don't have to make a purchase, but if you choose to make a purchase, remember to make that purchase with the person who invited you to this group with your demonstrator. And then you will get the PDF, which will have all of the measurements. It will have a list of all the product that was used, and it will also have links not to the video here in our Facebook group, but to the video on YouTube, because that one will last longer than the one in the Facebook group. And then if you are inspired to make a purchase and your purchase is over $75, you'll have the option to purchase the product of the month. It's only $5. Well, I don't know what it is in the different markets, but normally in the US, a designer paper pack is going to be $12, $14, and it's only $5. So you have an option to purchase that awesome product if you want it. If you don't want it, you don't have to purchase it. It's no big deal. But also available this month, I just need to mention real quickly, we have a starter kit special. So if you're going to, the starter kit costs $99, 12 months of the year. Starter kit costs $99 and you get $125 worth of product. This month, they have two options. You have to pick one or the other. You can either get all 5 of these new ink pads for free. That's like a $65 value, 50 something dollar value for free. You get all 5 ink pads for free, or you can get just extra product if you don't want these ink pads, if you don't want those colors. Instead, you could just pick an extra $35 worth of product if you become a demonstrator, which doesn't mean you have to sell, but it means you get the discount. In fact, this is your discount, right? Pay $99, get $125, 12 months of the year. That's your 20% discount right there. And if you're saying to yourself, but there's not $125 worth of stuff, you go, what about one of these? This is pretty darn awesome, right? You could add that to your list, and it's still going to give you a ton of other new product that you could purchase. So, hey, thanks for watching me. This layout is cool no matter what color combination you choose to buy, whether you use the vases or whether you just use the flowers alone, whether you use the die cuts or just the stamps without the die cuts. This is a really fun set. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. And next up will be Chrissy at the top of the hour. And I hope you find lots of good ideas from our projects the rest of today and tomorrow. I'm Katie Johnson. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Catch you in the comments.